on, Shaun?
Hey Dave, thanks for having me on, man. It's about time we spoke about these demonic networks that initiate people through these dark ceremonies, let's say. Perhaps Clive Davis brandishing his bishop, exposing his crown jewels to Diddy, Diddy thereby turning around, allegedly doing this to Justin Bieber, ingratiating Justin Bieber into these evil acts. And round these networks go, whether it's here in the UK right now. We've got a gaggle of rent boys, aka male models, aka male escorts, young East European looking lads who have been firebombing Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister's residences and his cars. And this is all over the news this week, and the mainstream media are absolutely not looking into the backgrounds of these.
What do you mean firebombing? Like, what does that mean? What do you mean by firebombing?
Two of our Prime Minister's properties have been set on fire, and a car, and they've arrested 3 people this week. The first one was a 21-year-old Ukrainian male escort, allegedly. The second one, they've just put a picture of the second one out today, and he looks like a boy band member from the 1990s.
It looks like Boy George in his prime.
They've arrested a third one, who's older. And imagine when they put the picture of him out, he's going to look like Gary Glitter. If this had happened in America, if Trump was getting firebombed, his properties were getting firebombed by young rent boys, aka male prostitutes, the press would be all over it. But there's complete silence.
So this is taking fire like worldwide, man. This is all coming out. We finally hit that precipice, that climax in all of this where it's just all coming out. I believe the music industry, at least as we knew it, is over with. It's done. All this stuff that's coming out on Diddy, everything that's coming out, it's over. Game over. Nail in the coffin. Because who's going to come after Diddy? Jay-Z? What actors are going to fall? Leonardo DiCaprio, maybe? I'm just naming names here that have been to the parties, but you know they're coming next.
So 2 things that Suge Knight pointed out to us was Diddy pissed off Diageo, which is a UK company which is 10% owned by BlackRock. And by filing this racism lawsuit and winning in court, BlackRock were just slobbering, waiting, foaming at the mouth for this to take advantage of the Cassie video. And as soon as that video came out, they pounced. But Diddy is a terrible person. I mean, another thing that Suge told us was that Diddy was pimping Justin Bieber out to elites.
Yeah, but Justin Bieber rep made a statement, and he was like, he's not a victim of Diddy, which we all know the truth on that. Like, why do you think Justin Bieber is just too scared to admit anything?
It's written all over his face, bro. He's looking like Jesse from Breaking Bad after a 2-week meth rampage. When you see the statement, look at his eyes, his shrunken, sunken face. His soul is burning up with whatever Diddy did to him. And Suge Knight told us Diddy was pimping Justin out to elites. Males, older corporate CEOs, execs.
I've heard certain boxers too. I'm not going to name who, but I've heard boxers as well. I'm champion boxers. Anyone can guess at that one.
It's an equal opportunity profession, apparently. If you've got enough money to take a young person and do these R-wording things to them and indoctrinate them into these satanic deeds. And this is the network that, Whitney Webb has told us about, that Ryan Dawson has told us about. And every now and then it reveals itself, whether it's the Cassie video, whether it's Jimmy Savile here in the UK getting exposed after his death, whether it's young male prostitutes firebombing Keir Starmer's house. The people at the top of power are psychopaths. They are compromised. They have been put in positions whereby, for example, Bill Clinton, when he was the governor of Arkansas, he was in multiple cocaine-frenzied situations with females that later became sexual assault lawsuits. And Trump brought these women to the debate with Hillary. And what did Hillary do? When she found out about these things, she had private investigators track them down. People were thrown off balconies. Pets were murdered.
Yeah, look at the video that Trump just put up on Truth Social about Hillary, and then Obama. I mean, it caught the whole internet on fire, man. This is insane. There you go.
I've got a whole chapter on the Clinton body count in my book, Who Killed Epstein. They had a coroner called Fahmy Malik who, when Bill Clinton's mom was working in the medical profession, somebody died. And Fahmy Malik came in and enabled the cover-up so Bill Clinton's mother wouldn't get in trouble. So they were in fine with him for the rest of his career. If anyone died in Arkansas when Bill Clinton was governor, they could be shot in the head. Fahmy Malik would say they drowned in a swimming pool. This is how preposterous his rulings were. If you look at the case of the boys on the tracks, where the two kids went and saw the drug drop, CIA drug drops were coming in. Barry Seal was one of the pilots, and Bill Clinton was providing the state police to secure these drug drops.
Wow.
Two kids witnessed these drug drops, Don Henry and Kevin Ives. They murdered them. They moved their bodies to the train tracks, put tarp over them, and said that a train had run over them. And the coroner, Fahmy Malik, who was in Clinton's pocket, determined that they had smoked so much of the green, they had gone into a psychedelic trance and lay side by side on the train tracks, and the train had run over them. But one of the parents worked on the train tracks, and they knew it was suspicious right away. The blood, it was not fresh blood. And Linda Ives, God bless her, she confronted Bill Clinton so many times, and he just completely ignored her and would not give her the answers that she was seeking. But the bottom line is, Bill Clinton got the White House. One of the reasons is because he played ball with the Bush crime family and the CIA. They were bringing the drugs in, the white powder from the South, and they were parlaying this into financing the Contras in Nicaragua. And because Bill Clinton played ball with the Bush crime family and the CIA, he was given the White House. They chose Arkansas to do the drug drops because Clinton was the sleaziest, most corrupt governor in all of the states. And Hillary, all she cared about was their rise to power. Rose Law Firm, I mean, Larry Nichols, God bless him, he blew the whistle on Rose Law Firm. If you wanted to get your money recycled, your drug money, you made a contribution to Rose Law Firm where Hillary Clinton worked. And then the Arkansas Development Finance Authority, ADFA, which was set up to create jobs in Arkansas and help the local economy, they would give you a loan that you never had to pay back. And that's how they laundered the drug money through Arkansas. The cash in the Arkansas banks went through the roof.
And you've been covering this pretty damn extensively, haven't you? You've been really following all of this. I mean, damn, you wrote a book on it.
I've written 17 books on it, David. I've written a series of books deconstructing the war on drugs and mass incarceration. I've written several books about Epstein. I've written a book called Clinton, Bush, and CIA Conspiracies.
Well, what's your thought about Cash and Dan Bongino coming out saying, he really did self-delete?
Who did self-delete? Jeffrey?
Yeah, they're coming out saying, there's no suspicious anything here. There's no conspiracy. He really did self-delete.
Oh, I just want to first say, R.I.P. Virginia. We've collaborated with Virginia for many years. She was the tip of the spear. She brought down Andy, the Queen's favourite son. This cockroach is still trying to scurry back into doing royal duties, and Charles is complicit in that, but he needs to go. And we researched the hell out about what happened to Jeffrey Epstein in that jail. I've interviewed so many people about it, including Nicholas Tartaglione. I've spoken to him, corresponded with him, who was the cellmate, the big multiple homicide cop, the drug deal gone bad, who I believe got a quid pro quo for the first attempt on Epstein, because Epstein said my cellmate tried to kill me, but then they moved Tartaglione out. So what happened was, they moved the new cellmate out, who was supposed to be watching Jeffrey, because he was on the unalive watch, what they have in the prison there to prevent people from unaliving themselves. Both guards fell asleep simultaneously, which had never happened in the history of that jail since its inception in the 1970s. And if you look at the reports, they said they fell asleep, they were doing online shopping and all this stuff. And then the assassin gets in there. We've got the strangulation, we've got the fracture of the hyoid, which so many medical experts have said, there's no way he just leant forward
It's bull.
and did this damage to his
So then
neck.
can we trust Cash Patel and Dan Bongino? I mean, because if they're coming out saying that to the public, right away that raises alarm bells and red flags for me. And I know Cash. I've had Cash on my show. I trust Cash. I don't understand. Is there a method to the madness here? Why would they be...
There's a method to the unaliving, because they did the exact same thing to Jean-Luc Brunel. Jean-Luc Brunel was the second most important procurer after Ghislaine Maxwell. Jeffrey boasted he'd slept with over 1,000 of these young East European teenage girls from the Jean-Luc Brunel pipeline. They were fast-tracked in by immigration, given automatic visas, put in these properties in New York, owned by Epstein, owned by Wexner, and Wexner needs to be looked at. And these girls, Jeffrey said, according to Virginia in the lawsuit, she said that Jeffrey boasted that Brunel had given him 12-year-old triplets as a birthday present.
Wow.
And their oral skills were absolutely wonderful. And this was at the orgy on the Virgin Island, where Virginia was present, where Prince Andrew was present, where all these East European girls were being brought in. And Jeffrey and Prince Andrew, allegedly, according to Virginia, were laughing with Jean-Luc Brunel, saying these are the easiest girls to beat because they don't speak any English. They don't speak any English.
Jeez. All right, so this is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this is leading to so many other people, right? I mean, Prince Andrew, the Diddy thing, Jay-Z maybe. I think it also leads to Mariana Abramovich. I mean, there she is right there. I think she's also in the background of all of this. She's very, very powerful with the ritual abuse, right, Shaun?
Yeah, it's a huge network, and we just had Juliette Bryant on the podcast. She spent almost 2 years with Epstein and Maxwell. She was transported around the world with Bill Clinton, and she said whenever Bill Clinton would get near her, he smelled of corpses and cleaning chemicals. And Kevin Spacey was there, and she revealed so many details from an inside perspective, not just conspiracy. She was actually there.
Like sicko stuff, man. Like we're talking to the outskirts, the outer realms of our reality. That it's sick type of serial.
Look at Jimmy Savile. I've written a book called Untouchable Jimmy Savile. We've got a documentary. It's free on YouTube. People can watch it. Untouchable Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was knighted by the Pope. He was like this with Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister. She got him knighted by the Queen. He was at he could just walk into Buckingham Palace. Prince Philip, Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten was a prolific PDF file, a mentor to King Charles, who brought Jimmy Savile into the royal fold. Jimmy Savile was protected. His offending went over 5 decades. As young as babies to people in their 70s. He worked at the morgue. He did things to corpses. He with his mother's corpse, he spent time with her and kept all of her clothes after she was dead, dry cleaned, and had this weird shrine to her. So he was a necro, a PDF, and a procurer to the royal family and others who were at the top of the British society. And the BBC and Netflix did documentaries about him, made him look like this lone wolf, but again, part of a network. I mean, we interviewed one of the Top of the Pops dancers, which was a musical program here they showed every week where Jimmy Savile was one of the hosts, and she said that her friend Claire McAlpine was brought in, and she was only a teenager, she was underage, she went off with Savile, went off with other huge name DJs, got pregnant, kept the diary about it, Mum found the diary, and she unalived herself, Dave. It is so sad.
So what's your thoughts on man, you're covering this like, you know, you're like one of the go-to people on this subject for sure, because I know that, you know, there's a few Liz Crokins, one of them you, Jaguar Wright. I haven't talked to Jaguar Wright in a while, but you know, Sheila E. comes out and testifies that Prince was telling her, hey man, you know, the music industry's changed, it's dark, they're after me, they know that I know. He was paranoid. He was saying that he was warning about Diddy back then, saying, hey man, listen, they know that I know. He records everything. He made me throw a party in which they went into a back room and started doing some, I guess, ritualistic stuff, the way I interpreted it. So to Prince, it was like, it got really dark. It went black. Do you think Prince suffered a homicide, or do you think it was an accident? What do you think now with all this information coming out?
So I've got 2 things to say on this. Prince was pharmacided, and Jonathan Odie, if you look at his original police interview, he's the guy who shot up the Trump Hotel, and he's spilling all of the information about the Boule, the Black Illuminati, the rituals. So Jonathan Odie was a sex slave for Diddy. and he's talking about Clive Davis, like how I started this interview today. You know, they bring these young people in, and they say, look, if you want to be a star, if you want to be famous, you know, come to our parties, come to our rituals, and participate in this with us. And then they've got them on film, they've got them compromised. So absolutely, Diddy was in the mix like that. Jonathan Odie, now people are looking back at the police interview and they're like, this guy was so right. The cop was trying to shut him up about Diddy and just find out about what he was saying about shooting up the Trump Hotel. Now, if you look at the definition of farmicide, if people go on Urban Dictionary and look at the definition of it, this is what I believe has happened to Virginia. And Virginia, when they do the autopsy on her, I believe they're going to find a huge cocktail of big pharma medication. So what they do is, if you want your independence, like if you're a Michael Jackson and you want your independence, or if you're a Prince and you want your independence, you are worth far more to the label at that juncture in your life, dead, than you are alive.
Oh, wow.
So
kind of like what they're doing with Kanye right now.
So they get some quack Dr. Feel-Good doctor overprescribing some MK Ultra cocktail of big pharma medication. That's the force on one side. The force on the other side is they put increasing pressure on you, so you're getting more stressed out, so you want to rely more on this medication, take more of it, increase the dose. If you look at the trajectory of Virginia, and even her lawyer, Boyes, when he was on Piers Morgan, who I don't trust, even he said the Epstein collaborators that had not been named by Virginia, excluding Prince Andrew, to this day were performing black ops on Virginia. You got Lady Victoria Hervey, chief troll for Prince Andrew, not only trolled Virginia when she was in the alleged bus crash situation, Virginia was trolled by Lady Victoria Hervey on her death. So you've got these people putting all the stress on one side, you've got the increased
working together in tandem.
Yeah, and that's how they kill these
so
people.
That's kind of like what we're seeing now with Britney Spears on Instagram. She went nuts. She's lost it. I saw a post just the other day of talking about how she was actually abused at Bohemian Grove. Like that she was actually abused. There's people putting out all kinds of stuff right now. It makes a lot of sense. It even makes sense all the way back to Elvis Presley, if you ask me. Presley, Michael Jackson, Prince, all of them.
Kurt Cobain, all of them. Look at how much money they worth when they died, where that money goes to. And when you look where that money goes to, you know who's calling the shots.
Jimi Hendrix.
People. Yeah. So we just interviewed a lady called Anna Lee, who was an MK Ultra survivor, and we've had the guy on O'Neill who wrote Chaos. And if you look at the origin of MK Ultra and the CIA and the experiments of the Manson family, basically with the Manson family, they were replicating something that they'd done with rats and mice, and they wanted to destroy the hippie community. They wanted to take down the war protesters, and they wanted to make the hippies look evil. So what they did was, with the mats and the rice, they put them on LSD and they behaved in a certain way. But when they put them on LSD and methamphetamine, they started to gang rape each other. They formed marauding little tribes that would cannibalize and eat each other and R-word each other. And they thought, right, let's try this in human society. Because Charles Manson, he had R-worded the backside of a teenage girl. He should have been in life for prison. He was completely getting in trouble over and over again, and the cops were giving him a pass. And you know, whenever that happens, this is a controlled experiment in the interest of national security, run by the CIA. They had these brothels in San Francisco. They were putting people on the LSD, seeing how they were behaving. But with Manson, those guys became murderers. So that was an MK Ultra experiment that worked perfectly for the CIA, because they were able to destroy, you know, the image of the hippies. He became the poster child for it.
God. Okay, so folks, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a really, really hot podcast. So it's gonna stay up on X. Alex, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can we keep it on X and take it down off YouTube, and I'll put it up on Rumble and on .tv?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I don't want to lose its flavor. I don't want to lose its essence. So, but it is FluffTube. So we'll keep it up on FluffTube for a little bit, but it'll go on X and Rumble. Shaun, you gotta work with me here, bro. So let me ask you this.
I've lost my channel twice, Dave.
No, thank you.
I'm using the correct channel. I'm using the correct language. I'm saying PDFs. I'm saying R words.
I know, but it's all right.
You can keep it up on YouTube. You got 3,000 watching right now. You're on fire, brother. We're on fire.
All right. Okay, so once Diddy goes down, which I think he's done. He's done. This is going to set off an avalanche, a cascade of other names. Do you agree? Do you see people like, what names do you see coming next?
All right. Sadly, Dave, I'm of the complete opposite opinion.
Okay, Dave.
The reason they make a sacrifice to the public at the Diddy level or the Epstein level is because these people are way below the big names. So with Jeffrey, he had to go to protect the Clinton crime family, to protect Leslie Wexner, who'd handed him the property, to protect Black, who'd give him hundreds of millions for financial services, etc. All those big names to this day are untouchable. Yeah, Prince Andrew had to pay out £12 million, what's that, around $15-16 million, but he's still roaming around the free man. He's not in prison with the neo-Nazi Aryan Brotherhood prison gang asking him, show me your charge sheet, whereby it is KOS for chomos, they're going to get the shanks out. No, he's running around. So there are higher level people such as the Clive Davises of the world.
So they sacrifice people like, I don't know, the scapegoat, like a Diddy, a Harvey Weinstein, who's pretty damn powerful. So they've weaponized the Me Too movement to go after these people and just feed them to the public, right?
They fed Ghislaine Maxwell to the public when the media interest was at its apex. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's still got huge amounts of money. She will have kicked down some back sheets now to a high court appeals judge, and she'll be getting Bill Cosby'd out because of her relationship with the Clinton crime family. She was allowed to stay alive because when people talk about Epstein's black book, it was not Epstein's black book. He was the money man. Ghislaine was the protege of Robert Maxwell with all of these connections all over the world. Her father, who named his yacht the Ghislaine after his favorite daughter, his protege, he had connection. He could go to Israel, sit down with the leaders of Israel, the leaders of Russia, the leaders of America. He was in with the CIA, the Mossad,
okay.
MI5.
Let's go a little bit further down this rabbit hole, because this, to me, okay, I'm going to say something that I know you know something about, okay, and I know you can speak on this, and it's probably going to piss off a lot of people in my chat, but, dude, Ghislaine Maxwell's father has been photographed with Mother Teresa. I mean, they've been in rooms together where he's on the phone and she's sitting there, and she was the biggest advocate for orphanages and children. Dude, was that all, bro, am I able to say this? Like, do you agree with me? Was that a cover? Was she really trafficking? Do you know anything about this? It's a question. Now, this is just a question. I'm just asking. There's a lot of rumors out there talking about this.
I just interviewed Kevin Annette, who's been exposing the Catholic Church and the Vatican and the Pope, including Pope Leo. If you look at the industrial level R-wording and PDFing and human transporting of young people around the world, the religious institutions and the foreign aid institutions, including the United Nations, are the biggest demonic entities in the world. And I'm not saying they're out there, in robes, dancing around maypoles like the Wicker Man, like Christopher Lee. What I'm saying is, if you harm a child, that is demonic. That is the most evil
100%.
thing you can do
100%.
in the world. And these demonic people with these filthy souls,
If they're even
they apply to work in the Catholic Church. They apply to work for the United Nations because they know all that money coming in to the donation plate is going to go to some high-priced lawyer. If you get busted in the Catholic Church, they get you some high-priced lawyer. They move you 20 miles to a different diocese, and you just commit more and more crimes. Some of these priests have got hundreds of victims, and because the Catholic Church insulates them from the consequences of their evil deeds. And to me, the Catholic Church is an inversion of what it stands for, to harbour, and including the present Pope, who has been harbouring and insulating these people. That's the most evil thing in the world, because the justice system, when it doesn't take the safety and security of our children properly, what the F is it worth, David? It pisses me off.
I agree.
As you saw, my little baby Ziggy,
Yeah.
he's 1.5 years old. I'm into survivors all the time, and I see all of these threats out there, and it just breaks my heart to think, where the hell can I leave my kid that he's going to be safe in this world that's filled with these filthy animals?
In El Paso, there's a big, it's highly Catholic here, correct? But they're always shoveling in priests here, and they're in and out, leaving out. And I've heard over and over, even at I'm not going to say which Catholic church, but one of the Catholic churches here I know has tunnels underground. And the diocese here, the whole thing, they're always moving in, moving out priests that apparently were in trouble for being abusers of children. And they come through El Paso and they get shoveled around, and then they fly them down to another city. They just relocate all of them. That's what they do. It's a huge gig. It's like they all just protect each other. That's why, man, I have friends that are Catholics, but I had to step away from the Catholic Church. I'm a Christian. I was an altar boy and all that, and I was never touched. I guess the priest didn't find me that attractive. But I was never touched or anything like that. But I know, I've always heard of things, and I stepped away from the church. I had to step away from it.
Well, I was an altar boy too. I'm a Catholic. I was raised Catholic. My nan was always in Lourdes, getting the holy water. I'm not bashing Catholics. There's good and bad in every institution.
Right,
but
absolutely.
Our institutions have been corrupted and co-opted by these demonic elite people at the top, and we will shine a light on the foul.
But you don't see them getting you just see Diddy going. You don't see people. I mean, R. Kelly went. I mean, there's so many people that Harvey Weinstein, Diddy. You don't think there'll be an avalanche like Jay-Z and all of them? I mean, their names are already coming up. I mean, for 50 Cent to make an appearance and be calling out Jay-Z, I think he's next.
Well, I was named in Diddy lawsuits. I was named in Jay-Z lawsuits.
Really?
We've had to take most of our content down on what we were talking about with these people. Now, Jay-Z is proper gangster. I mentioned the Diageo deal that Diddy had, and if you look at the net worth of all of the deals that Diddy had, you can multiply that by at least 10 the value of the deals that Jay-Z and Beyonce have combined. The value of those deals hinges on the reputations of Jay-Z and Beyonce. So if their reputations are tarnished, like we saw that shot across the bow
Yeah,
in that
she's
first
making
lawsuit, he hired private investigators. Well, let's just say vested interests hired private investigators to destroy the lawyer Busby's reputation, to go after any influencers. We had influencers on our channel whereby private investigators had just showed up at their doorsteps asking them why they were reporting on Jay-Z, why they were reporting on Diddy, were they being paid, would they like to make more money? The value's in the billions. These people can have you wiped off the face of the earth in a blink of the eye. That's how much money they've got. They're not going to let the value of these deals go down. They hold each other up. They held Savile up for 50 years until he was dead. And even after he was dead, the BBC tried to protect him. It was only some whistleblowers getting it out there finally that caused the avalanche of media interest to erupt. And all of these survivors to finally have the bravery to come forward because they were terrified.
Right, they were scared for their lives, yeah.
I'm quick to get you in the Old Bailey. I'm connected to the Queen, to the royal family, to the Pope. Don't mess with me. And that's exactly what Jay-Z said. He gave off that exact same aura when his empire was threatened.
What happened with Tony Busby? The Texas lawyer.
Busby's mugshot was put up from when he had a drunk driving offense. Private investigators were contacting his clients and trying to get his clients to reverse sue him. It was mayhem in his life. He's got a tank.
So he's done.
No, he's not done. I mean, he's an ex-Marine and he's got a tank in his yard. And he was saying, you're basically F you and fighting back and counter-suing. Yeah, but in the end, it all died down, man. It all died down, and Jay-Z's house was sick.
And what about Jaguar Wright? What's going on with Jaguar Wright?
So we've had Jaguar Wright on multiple times on the channel, and God bless her. The minute Piers Morgan had her on, and she called out Beyonce and Jay-Z, saying that they were taking people around in suitcases. And Piers Morgan had to apologize. As soon as Piers Morgan had to apologize, I was like, not only am I going to get Jaguar on, I'm going to get her on live, and she can say what the hell she wants. It was all named in lawsuits. It was all removed from YouTube, Dave. But we kept it up for as long as we could, and I urge you to do the same with this video. And, you know, there's only so far
my channel.
There's only so, yeah, you do, brother.
I got too much going on here with this channel. I got to protect it. I can't play around with that.
We're
folks, you'll be seeing this on .tv, Nino'sCorner.tv, and on X.
I'll put it on my channel if you want.
Yeah, go for it. You got, go for it. You don't see the entertainment game changing? Like, you don't see this being, I mean, it's already happening. It's a huge shift in consciousness. And, you know, if we just look at Sheila E., who was talking about Prince, like, hey, man, they know that I know. I mean, these people were terrified, and now they're all coming out. I mean, it's like,
they know.
This did not even happen with R. Kelly. This did not even happen with Harvey Weinstein. But it's happening right now with P. Diddy. I think there's been a paradigm shift, and I no longer think we're living in that old, archaic paradigm. I think it's over for them, bro. I think this is just going to catch fire.
You know, they know, we know, and I don't think they care. In fact, I go one step further. They rub it in our faces.
Yeah.
They do stuff that's just so obvious, and they are so untouchable. Look at Bill Clinton, man. He's going to go to his grave just like Jimmy Savile went to his grave. You know what Jimmy Savile's epitaph was on his grave? It was good while it lasted.
Wow, really?
This is how brazen these people are. They know what you're...
Then I guess they don't believe in an afterlife, huh?
Well, Jimmy Savile's thing was, because he raised tens of millions for charity, he used to joke that he had this moral dilemma that when he was at the pearly gates, they would say to him, Jimmy, you know, you have done all this charity work. It's cancelling out your evil deeds. We're going to let you into heaven. That's how brazen he was. There's a video of him on Top of the Pops, the music show, on YouTube. People can look this up, Jimmy Savile, Top of the Pops. He puts his hand up a teenage girl's skirt, and she just jumps right on camera. This was a pre-record that the BBC showed to the world. And he still got away with it. Still got away with it.
It's Jimmy so prevalent, right? They run the world, man. There's just no way out of this. They control everything. So Jimmy this is a controlled, are you saying this is with Diddy, in your mind, a controlled demolition of the Diddy empire so that they can give people what they want? What would be the purpose? Why get this stuff exposed?
Jeffrey was a mid-level manager in his honey trap apparatus. Wexner was above him. He was sacrificed. Ghislaine Maxwell was sacrificed. Jean-Luc Brunel was sacrificed. Diddy's getting sacrificed. If you're at the top and you're brazen like Savile. Savile was in a car, a Rolls Royce, one of his favorite cars of a teenage girl. The police pulled up next to him. He wound the window down, and the cop said, "What are you doing, Jimmy?" And Jimmy said, "She's 15. She's 16 at midnight. I'm waiting for her to turn 16, and I'm going to have my way with her. Now, F off if you want your job to be saved." And then that cop went back to the cop shop, and he described to his colleagues what Jimmy Savile just said to him, and they said, "Yeah, we will all lose our jobs if you put in a report like that about Jimmy Savile." Jimmy Savile had a lunch club for the cops every week, and the way it was set up back then, wherever a report came in across the UK about his crimes, whatever jurisdiction it was in the UK, it went to the cop at Leeds Police who was coming to Jimmy Savile's lunch club. The cops were allegedly utilising these young girls Savile was bringing in, and that cop would mysteriously disappear. All of these complaints coming in about Jimmy Savile. So there was a class of people, David, that know they can get away with it. They're in your face. They're untouchable. The Jimmy Saviles of the world, the Hillary Clintons, the royal family members, the Bill Clintons. I wish they would be held accountable for their evil deeds. I wish that they...
All right, that's where you and I love you. Dude, you're phenomenal, but I disagree with you. They're going down. I think they are.
But are you saying Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew are going to get sent to the prison yard? Or the first thing?
I know I don't know about Andrew, but I know the Clintons.
The first thing is, if you're a white person, and I know from experience, the neo-Nazi gang, the Aryan Brotherhood, come up to you, hey Wood, that's like, mate, what are you in here for? Show us your charge sheet. And they see that, and if you've got a crime against a kid, it's all over, man. It's all over. It's KOS. KOS.
Man. Oh, one last question before I let you go. The Punisher. Do you know anything about this Punisher thing that's going on? That Punisher that's going to testify in the Diddy trial that's been coming out? The Punisher is going to be testifying. Who is this person? Do you have any idea? This is just floating around.
I don't know who the Punisher is. I know Jonathan Odie is. He's a real person. He got arrested by the cops for shooting up the Trump Hotel. He spilled the beans on the rituals of Clive Davis, the Boule, the Black Illuminati. Jonathan Odie is the one who's got the goods about the rituals.
So you don't think this is going to catch fire? You think it's going to stop right here with Diddy?
When it's about to catch fire, people mysteriously die. Jean-Luc Brunel, Jeffrey, Virginia. Look how it's blowing up with Epstein. Look at the timing with Virginia, the Pharmacide.
Yeah. Do you think the Epstein list will come out?
So that publicity stunt, that ridiculous publicity stunt that Pam Bondi did with those influencers with their files, as if this was new information to people like Ryan Dawson and Whitney Webb, we've been working with for years, was preposterous and laughable and an insult to our intelligence. And this is what I'm saying, Dave. They think we are idiots. We are just cattle to be depopulated, insulted, lied to, manipulated. The mainstream media is just full of it. And a lot of people, sadly, still lap this mainstream media stuff up. Look at the people telling you these stories, folks. They told us Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, caused trillions and trillions of dollars to be handed over to evil Dick Cheney and Halliburton. And those mainstream media entities are still lying and laughing in our faces.
Point taken. And also with Cash Patel and Dan Bongino coming out saying he didn't self-delete. I'm sorry, but everyone knows, or that he did self-delete. Everyone knows there was shenanigans there. They were finagling the bagel. They know. We all know.
I've got a whole chapter on how do people get that book? I've got a whole chapter on it.
Where do people get the book, Shaun? So if anybody knows, it's you.
So yes, all my links are in the description box. We're almost at 1 million subs now. A huge thanks to all the people who subscribe, help us get there. And then my link tree's down there as well. I've written 17 books exposing these monsters. All my socials, all my books are available on Amazon worldwide under my name, Shaun Attwood.
Can you put that up here, Alex? Can you put up show his books?
My link tree is in your description box as well. Thanks for doing that as well.
Yeah. Let's get Shaun Attwood's his books out there. Let's get them sold. This guy, man, if anybody's doing the work, it's this guy. I really highly suggest anyone go to his channel, subscribe. He's such an amazing guy. I love having you on, Shaun. Can I get you on again soon at some point?
As soon as you'd like, brother, I'm standing by. I really appreciate it. Let's keep on.
And you can put this up on your channel. I'll keep it on X and I'll put it on the .tv.
Give it a day, Dave, and then send it to me. We transfer. I'll get it up on my channel. No worries.
Love you, brother. Thank you so much for making it happen today, man. It's been a great podcast. I hope people liked it. A lot of questions raised, at least. Could we see the takedowns? I mean, I hope so.
Much love and respect. He's going to get a huge sentence, hopefully, and he's going to really need that baby oil when the AB guys are.
Oh, he's going to love it in there.
I could be a friend to you. I could be a friend to you.
He's going to love it. You know he's going to love it. This is his dream too. He's going to party like a Diddy party in prison. Boy, he's going to love
that sausage.
All right, Shaun, thank you so much. All right, folks, we're out, man. Catch us on EnoCorner.tv. I'll leave this up for a little bit on YouTube. Shaun, I'll send you the file. And Alex, thank you. Shaun, peace.
Over now, bro. I'm going to throw baby sick in the air now. Build those biceps.
There you go. Later.
Thanks, man.
Well, there you go. There's Shaun Attwood just letting it rip. The guy is very intelligent, knows a lot of stuff, wrote a lot of books. Go on Amazon, buy some of them books, man. You got a lot of them. But what a hot podcast that was. Woo! Hey, subscribe. Hit that like button. You guys have a great day. Love you. Bye.